when women cut ourselves off from that feminine energy, we end up miserable bitches.
Meet Carly Stefan. She works at the intersection of energy embodiment and leadership, guiding high-performing women who've done everything right, yet still feel disconnected, exhausted, or unfulfilled. In this episode, we talk about energy, feminine and masculine balance, self-trust, and why so many women disconnect from themselves in order to succeed in relationships, careers, and life. This is a conversation about alignment and power, and is for women who know they're meant for more, but don't know how to access it yet.
Feminism is, can we allow for a woman to be who she wants to be? The most important thing in my life right now is not betraying myself in any way. People are power hungry is because they don't know how to access energy within themselves.
Women have always doubted themselves more, felt more insecure towards particular field.
Trauma aspect of it, it will always be something that, like, when we allow it to, it will unfurl and unravel.
Carly, for someone like me who considers themselves somewhat spiritual, but is not that deep in that field, how would you describe what it is exactly that you do and why do you do that?
Oh, I love the why question particularly. What I do in a nutshell is I'm an energetic practitioner by, I guess, training and embodied experience. And I coach and mentor women leaders who are visionaries, who are that sort of conscious, aware human into their next level, into their upgraded selves. And really that requires this multi-layered approach. So the mental body, the emotional body, the energetic body, and the physical, all working in sync to gain coherence, which then elevates you into higher frequencies, higher vibration, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's kind of like the holistic approach to really taking off in the world. That's what
It's
I do.
a rocket.
It's a rocket ship.
I love that.
Yes.
And what brought you to doing that? What's your why?
It's the why is deeply embedded in knowing that we each have this very magical capacity as humans that we get kind of knocked out of us through the cultural field, through cultural influences that tell us that we're not the most brilliant light-filled being ever, right? They tell us that we're just like an animated meat sack, that's walking around on Earth, and you've just got to kind of grin and bear it and get through it. But really, we have light and energy moving through us. In fact, our bodies are only the smallest part of who we are. We're these vast beings that, we can't necessarily see, but we can feel. And I want people to know that. And know that experientially, not just intellectually, but really know it in their cells, in their body, and deeply anchor that knowing in themselves so they can walk through the world knowing they're a miracle in motion every day.
So everybody talks about energy, right? Everybody says, I can feel the energy, I can feel the vibe. I think that's the trendy word nowadays. Can we deep dive a bit in this whole topic of energies? And so how can we, as basics, let's start. I'm super curious to have this conversation with you. Let's just break it down. How do I know if I am not in a good energy, or there's the next level of upscaling my energy to go on a higher frequency? Let's a bit deep dive into that.
Okay, so yeah, the vibe thing, that's a trend. And,
vibing,
vibey is like, am I feeling this? Am I feeling this? So that's actually a really good clue. And a lot of people, a lot of humans are clairsentient, which is clear seeing. You've probably heard of the term clairvoyant, right? That's a psychic. Have you heard of clairvoyance and psychic?
Should I?
No, okay.
No.
So a psychic is a clairvoyant.
Well, a psychic I've heard.
Yeah. So
a
psychic is clairvoyant is clear seeing.
Okay.
So they can see and visualize, they can see things playing out and see things beyond the veil. But clairsentience, clear feeling, so a sentience, clear feeling is what you're feeling and sensing in your immediate surroundings of like, this is not a vibe. You're not feeling it, right? Now, I'm not going to get too complex because that's multi-layered. And when someone's saying this is not vibey, it could very well be that they have, prejudices within themselves that are bumping up against tender feelings, and they're in a space where the vibe could be really high, but that's triggering something within them and making them feel not great. And so then they say, this isn't a vibe, right? Because they're not feeling it. But if they were to dive deeper, they would know there's something in there that needs to be listened to.
So there's layers of why that's the reaction.
Yes, but you can feel it. And, being in the place that we are in the land of the gods, you can feel a frequency and vibration shift on the land of where you are immediately. In fact, I think people can, feel it when you get off the plane in Bali, right?
It's very interesting because I do feel like that's absolutely true. The moment you land somewhere, you just absorb it. But at the same time, it's super strange because you think, is it me or am I just, putting myself in a holiday vibe or in whatever somebody told me I should be feeling?
No, you're picking up on the frequency, and it's something that you begin to learn. It's kind of like a literacy, when you read more, you kind of understand more. When you dive deeper into the layers of it, you understand it more. But I think just from a basic level, you can feel it, and it's not, don't gaslight yourself. You are actually tuning in to the energy of the land. And I think people could probably relate as well to circumstances where they walk into a room and they can tell someone's just had an argument or there's tension. You could cut it like a knife, they say. That's another sense of a frequency shift that's happened because a lot of emotion, negative or, a very intense emotion has just inhabited the space. And you can sense that. And that is your clairsentience. That is you sensing energy in the space.
Is this the reason why sometimes we just approach people and directly judge and say, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like their energy? Is it actually based on energy?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I want to bring it back, though, to it's worth just checking in with yourself first.
What is it triggering in me?
Exactly, because some of the time, yes, it's energy, because particularly a finer aspect of it is if you feel like your energy is like running away from you and you're like disembodying, there is an aspect where there might be a real mismatch. So like if you feel like you want to run away, it's like a mismatch. But there's oftentimes a mirror that's like showing you things, and oftentimes it could be things that you have within you that you're like, I don't like this person, and remembering that when you point a finger this way, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you, right? So there's always a bit of information there for us to kind of dive into and go, oh, okay, so if I've had a very strong reaction to somebody, it's like not just a projection. Like, don't just project and be like, that's you. Yeah. Go, okay, so what is it in me that maybe I'm reacting to? Because if you spot it, you got it. That's the saying. So that explore that. But also the base, I always say, especially to women, like the base fear or something that you feel like this is not right, or like there's something like, boom, get out. Always trust that. Always trust it. And it is an instinct. It is an intuition. And there's oftentimes like an energy that is, not safe to be around, where you should just get yourself out as soon as possible and trust it.
So you mentioned exactly the word intuition.
Yes.
Explain it to me. Where does intuition come and where does energy, or how do they work together? How do I know what's an intuition, what's an energy?
Okay. So I love this. This is all like the science of it, like pulling it apart.
Yes, I love learning new things.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like a child that I can ask anything.
Wonderful. So my understanding of it, the way that I view it, is that the more energy someone runs through their body, the more energy you're running through your body, the higher your intuition will be, because the higher your inner light quotient is, so like the amount of light you can hold, the more your soul lands in your body, because your soul doesn't necessarily just live in your body. It can float around. I can sense it in people that mostly in Western women, it lives around here and maybe to here, right? But it's out. It's not necessarily fully in. So the more energy you have running through you, the more light you have inside you, the deeper your soul can land. And then it activates wisdom centers in your body, and particularly for women. There's like thinking centers, a feeling center, and then the knowing center is down in the womb. And you will access these and open these areas as you embody more energy, right? And the intuition turns on. And so it's not just about, oh my gosh, I'm mentally accessing some knowledge. It's, oh, hang on a second. My womb wisdom or my heart wisdom is saying, hey, go this way, go that way. And it's the clearest signal comes through with your intuition, and you get to hear it more clearly. I always like to use this metaphor of when you have less energy running through your body, it's kind of like being at a rock concert and talking at this normal level and expecting to be heard. So in a rock concert, you have to shout in order to be heard from the other person, right? So you're shouting down, like, I can't hear you. And then as you gather more energy and you bring more energy into your body, you turn down the dial of the volume and it becomes more like a library. So then you can hear the barest whisper, right? And it's like, oh, go here, or oh, go there, or oh, say yes to this, or oh, and it's not so noisy and loud. It's not so, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And it's, oh yeah, I listen to this and I go. I listen and I go.
How do I know that I'm embodying my energy?
Okay. Do you feel a sense of it running through your body from your top of your head down through every layer of you, through your feet and out and kind of back up again? Can you
right
feel?
now I can.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can usually when I focus on it, when I do meditation or yoga.
Yeah. Well, then that could be the case. And it's essentially like, it would take a little bit of like a few questions to ask, but it would really be like if you can feel sensation in your system and you can feel it, that layer of your body that's not physical, but like is inside you, and you can feel the whirring. There's a whirring sensation through the wheels.
I love that. Super interesting. What I'm wondering is like, I can, because I've done a bit of work in meditation. I've done Vipassana as well, which is a 10-day silent retreat. What can our listeners now do to check how connected they are with their energy? Yeah.
Well, I would just attune to your body. Actually just be present and ask, is there an area of my body where I can't feel sensation, or that I'm numb? Can I sort of touch a part of my body and go, oh yeah, what's going on there? Oh, there's no sensation. There's nothing happening. There's possibly a blockage or, sort of a lack of energy there. And yeah, just breathe with it and see, and maybe just go to where you do sense energy and then see if you can move it a bit further. Can it go down? Can you sort of sense it dropping, visualize or feel it? And if not, then you need to work on your energy. And one of the quickest ways is to go out onto the earth and do it and use that to support you to keep sort of moving that energy. But yeah, you can just tune into your body.
I appreciate that. That's some good advice there. You've been practicing what you are practicing for the last 10 years, and you focus now particularly on women in leadership. So what is it that women in leadership are lacking or are needing where you need to jump in and help them to reach, as you said, the next level of their higher self?
It's really funny. There's such a common theme, and it's particularly amongst high-performing women, there is so much of a thread of self-doubt and worry that they're not doing the right thing in the world, and that they are not hitting all the marks that they're supposed to be hitting, and that there's some kind of deficit happening. that's like the focus. There's so much of this, and I feel like the cultural field, and particularly the West, is to blame, because they are looking at their life and focusing so much on what they perceive they don't have, that it is weighing them down. And they're not looking at and focusing on their strengths.
But on the
weaknesses. But on their weaknesses. And so it's really funny, because you will have people, who've achieved the highest, like some of the, highest offices in the land, right? And they'll focus on the one thing, like, oh, my love life is not great.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I wish I had kids now. And it's like, and then I'll work with women who are, have just had babies, and they're like, oh, I feel like such a failure because I'm not out there doing my work in the world, and I'm, and it's literally like, you can't win. I feel like getting them all in a room and being like, hey guys, you're all feeling the same thing. Can we all just appreciate that you're all amazing and you've all achieved so much and done awesome things, and just to focus on that and continue to build the strengths of that, and not lay this sort of let the weight of these so-called weaknesses that they're identifying hold them down and hold them back. And there's another thing actually that's run through as a theme of late, which is just like a complete drop in self-confidence. And I feel like it's been like post-pandemic stuff like that sort of those few years after that time, like there was this drop in frequency. And I think it just moved through so many people, where they just, like, people got the collective, like it dropped. Everything dropped, and people began to doubt themselves and doubt their capacity and doubt their ability. And it's like, hang on a second, wait. Where is this? It's like amnesia. Like, where is all your power gone? And building that back up is really important. Otherwise, people abandon themselves and abandon their mission and abandon what it is they're here to do. And I've kind of found that that's where a lot of the focus is, and then building that back up gradually, which is usually, about going to the root of what it is that's really causing the doubt, that's really causing the focus on the weaknesses, and not like stepping into strengths and building on them. That's kind of where the work is.
You say people, but I do think that it's historically, we can see that women have always doubted themselves more, felt more insecure towards particular field. So what I wonder, as you said, maybe it's become more and more now after COVID, but is it in our nature? Is it how we're just wired and programmed?
It is partially. And I always love to use this, like another interesting analogy, where there's a stylist that I heard from many years ago, who spoke about how when a woman goes in to try on clothes in a changing room at a shop, she will put on the dress, and she will look in the mirror and say it doesn't fit, right? And she it's too, like, her boobs are too big or too small or whatever it is. And she will take the dress off and she will say, my boobs are too big or too small, and my waist is too thick or too whatever, and I don't have this. And like the physical aspects, she'll focus on herself being the problem. The man goes into the changing room, tries on some pants, looks at them, is like, oh no, my waist is too thick, or my blah, 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 blah. It wouldn't, he'll look at it and be like, oh, my pants are there. And he'll take the pants off, come outside and be like, the pants
they're
are
too small. The
pants are the error. Like, they're not, it's the pants, the object that is the issue, not them. That is the object is the issue. Whereas the women are the object, right? Which is what our culture does, right? Objectifies women a lot. So the women learn to objectify themselves and find the error in themselves. And then we have these symptoms turn up.
And thank you for bringing that up. I think it's super, super important that we keep on highlighting on that part where we objectify ourselves.
Yes.
And let the society objectify as well. And that's how we get these crazy standards of how we should look, how we should have it all back maybe on the topic is what you said, that women never feel enough. They might be the best mother, then they still won't be good enough because their career will be, for example, on hold, or looking in the best shape of their lives, but something else would be suffering.
Exactly. The externalizing of our inner validation is such a massive issue. It's truly externalizing and making it that how does it look to everybody else? So then that's body standards, that's what am I doing in the world? How am I appearing to people?
Yeah.
That's like this major focus rather than how do I really feel about myself, about where I am in the world, what I'm doing. That should be the primacy before anything else. How is it really feeling deep within my heart?
Yeah.
And then go out into the world and do whatever it is, right? Not how's it looking, you know? How's it looking? So long as it looks good, then you're never happy if it's just looking good.
Have you noticed it becoming worse and worse with now social media being such an essential part of our lives?
So much. And particularly being in like influencer capital of the world here, right? I so rarely find myself in the situation where I'm surrounded by them. But the other day I was at a pool and I was like, I felt like I was walking past people that were not inhabiting their souls. It was literally just like they had put themselves into a small black box. And that was perched there. And that was it, right? They were just literally capturing content. I'm like, were you talking to each other? Are you connecting with each other? Are you actually having a core memory moment here? No. You're capturing content. You are just content creating. That's it. And not actually having that depth of connection. Do you know what land you're on? Are you saying thank you to the waiter who's just brought your drink or whatever? It's like, no, they're just oblivious. And it's just the screen thing.
Yeah.
And it is empty. It is empty and soulless. And I feel like it's like only going to be a few more years that people can kind of countenance that. They can accept that within themselves and within others because it's an empty thing. And in this increasing sort of like, you know, AI oriented and sort of tech oriented world, the value of deep, soulful human connection is going to skyrocket. Right? Like people can actually, going back to can you feel the vibe? But people can feel that.
Yeah.
It is literally irreplaceable by anything. It's irreplaceable by a phone, by an AI agent, by anything. It's irreplaceable.
I fully agree. Yeah.
So, you know, like that is empty and it's going to peter out in a way that, you know, it's inevitable.
I fully agree. I believe that in a few years when AI has taken over everything and everywhere, we're just going to be going back to the basics. We would like to live in a small village, have a farm, have a chicken. It's already kind of happening.
Have some plants.
Yeah, have some plants and then talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know, actually listen what the other one is saying, not just, whatever. Because I don't know how it is for you, but I often catch myself having conversations that are just so empty or like I'm hitting a wall. They're just person looking at me, but I feel their energy of wanting me to just shut up and go further, or you know, it's just not genuine. It's
absolutely
not how are you actually, or what's going on for you, or how can we, I don't know, get to know each other on a deeper level. It's more of a what can you bring me or give me, what do you bring as value. Are you making 6 figures a month? Otherwise I don't think you're worthy of talking to me, you know, this kind of energy. And I'm like, I'm just trying to get myself further away from that.
Yes.
Because it's just not genuine.
It's genuine. So empty and surface level and just power hungry. Like that's and the reason people are power hungry is because they don't know how to access energy within themselves. It's such a funny dimensional thing. Like when people do not have access to and cannot get free energy through their own practice, they want power over, and they need to gather that through like accessing someone that they think might give them that power, right? And this is what they're doing. And it's such an interesting thing that you speak about, you know, like if I'm talking to someone and I'm not connecting with them, that's probably because that person doesn't even know how to connect to themselves. And they are just living from here. And so all they're doing in sort of more like a survival space is like, what can you get me? What can I get from you? What can I extract?
What's your profit here?
Yes. Yeah. What can I extract from you to benefit me and my survival on this earth, rather than what can I add to you? How can I better resource you? And then trust the reciprocity, like the law of reciprocity, you know, the law of provision, the law of divine compensation. All of these are energetic laws that happen, which means whatever you give out to the world, whatever it is that you are putting out, you get back, right? And so this is like, that sort of interaction. It makes me very sad to hear that you've had that. I tend to now that my intuition is quite, I tend to not attract them as much because I'm intuitively like, yes, no, you know, like.
Yeah, well, we go to a lot of co-working spaces or networking events, so it's kind of inevitable. Sort of I am in amongst the core of it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, maybe that's like, it's about sort of knowing where that conversation has to end. Yeah. You know, where you're like, okay, this is nice to meet you. See you around. Yeah. You know, see you at another whatever, and it's like, you feel yourself getting zapped, or I should say sapped, like, you know, of energy. Someone's like taking from you, rather than feeling full, feeling the fullness of like a genuine soul exchange, a genuine heart connection that will leave you feeling really full. That's, you kind of want to attract that.
I perfectly know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't want to go that conversation. It's a completely different topic. I'm really curious about, further down this, this scenario. I'm very genuinely curious about, since you said you coach and you work with women in leadership, usually people who have achieved a certain success or a level of, you know, corporate leader or business whatsoever, these are usually very pragmatical, I would say, people, right? Analytical, they're very on point, goal-oriented. And then you come, Carly, with talking about all these beautiful energies and things and whatsoever. How do you manage to even explain to them, or how do they come to you? Do they already have the awareness of something is off? How do they know they need a Carly in their life?
That's such a good question. I think it's particularly those women who have ticked every box. Like, I've got the thing, I'm high up in this, I've achieved whatever, got a house, got a partner, got kids, got da-da-da-da, or whatever their box tick thing is, and they still feel empty, or they don't feel fulfilled, or they're like, is that all there is? Is this what life is? I've achieved all this stuff, or I've done these things, but I feel empty inside. Society said that if I did this stuff, remember, externalizing validation, society said if I got all of these things, then I would feel great, then I would feel amazing. The movies tell me this. The movies, the books, they all tell me that I'm supposed to feel amazing, and yet I don't, right? And so it's usually that emptiness or that sense of like, you know, in the corporate space, like there's a few different client areas that I work in, but the sort of more corporate space or government space is, I know there's more to life, and I know there's more to me, and I know there's more to my feeling of fulfillment, or feeling energy running through me, or feeling able to be in the present moment and just enjoying the pleasure of the feminine body, or enjoying being in existence just purely for the sake of it, right? There's more to this, because if I've achieved all of this external success and yet I'm still not really enjoying it, or I'm not quite there with, you know, what I was promised, I don't feel what I was promised, then the universe can send them to me, and we'll light up other aspects of their life, and then they can further appreciate what they have, but also maybe slightly course correct and look at what it is that they really want to dive into. There's usually an aspect of an unexplored passion, or an unexplored aspect of themselves within themselves that they then awaken in our work together.
Super interesting. Makes me even more curious. Would it then mean that they, or people, or the women, it doesn't matter, have disconnected with their inner self, or how can
Yeah.
I imagine this?
Yeah, you mean in terms of like the energetic
Exactly.
circuitry? Yeah, usually it would be it's like quite disembodied. And, you know, for various reasons, the feminine body doesn't necessarily feel safe in the world. You know, and there might be traumas that have happened, and so the womb space has been cut off.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you have really bad bleeding cycles, you know, your menstrual cycle, sometimes the pain that's down there can really cut you off from that wisdom center. So, you know, that can shut down.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then like the heart, like if you've had heartbreak or you've felt betrayed, you may have that kind of area blocked off. And so then, and even the throat, if you don't feel safe to express in the world.
Oh, we need to talk here.
Yeah, you might cut that off, and then that is something that needs to be opened. And so then you're just existing really here, right? And so then anxiety, even depression, like all of these things is like, I can't get out of my head, or how do I get out of my head? All of these questions come up. And that is like the bane of the Western woman's existence, really, is that existing just here, because we've been influenced by a very patriarchal, masculine-oriented society, to be like brain is key, mind is key. And it's like, no, mind is a tool. Like the Heart Math Institute have shown that your heart coherence, it actually influences your brain waves, not the other way around. Right? It is like some magnitude. Your heart actually influences your brain waves.
Wow.
Not the other way around. So if you don't focus on this, then you just shut down so much of your magic.
You're opening a whole new chapter here.
Yeah.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, the Heart Math Institute's great for this, but it's quite well known in the energy space. Like the heart is... I call it the heart portal. It is one of the most powerful energy centers in the earth. It connects every point of consciousness to every point of consciousness. It's through the heart portal. It is so powerful.
So if I have particular spots in my body where I feel particular or certain type of sensations,
Yes.
is that energy that has been collected there, or what can I imagine it to be?
It depends on what the sensation is. Can you describe what the sensation
I can
is?
give you a few.
Yes.
So since I am in this chair, I can ask whatever I want.
Yeah.
So I often have this particular heaviness in my shoulder. Like I can feel they're like very heavy, and I can feel kind of punch, or how would you call it? A pressure, a punch, into them, and then I would just sit, and it will come. I would feel it, and then it will disappear and come and go and come and go.
When it happens, what is the feeling sense that you have in your body?
In my whole body.
Yeah, or what is there an emotion that's attached to it when you have the feeling sense?
I don't know if that's an emotion. It's just a
sensation.
But like giving me the sign that something's wrong.
Oh, okay. There you go. So there's like, it's like your spidey senses of, oh, there's something that's up, right? So you're saying when this happens and you feel pressure, there's an emotion of, oh, check what's going on.
Maybe I didn't express it correctly. Not what something is wrong with the environment. Something is wrong here
with you.
With the temple.
Really?
So maybe a little bit of a background story. I did Vipassana 2022 here in Bali for 10 days. I assume you're very familiar with that.
Yes, I know Vipassana, yeah.
So long story short, by the 8th day or the 7th day, are you familiar what a Sankara is? Sankara. It doesn't matter. So that's in their teaching, in the meditation teaching. Sankaras are very deep, safe traumas, so to say. And with the type of meditation that you do at Vipassana, what you try to do is uncover these different layers and unpeel the onion, so to say, of traumas.
Yeah.
So by day 7, I didn't really know what Sankara was because they explained it in the evening after. However, I had a very, very, very intense experience where during the last meditation of 1 hour, I suddenly felt this extreme pain in my shoulders and neck that made me, just locked me. I couldn't move. So I was with my eyes closed, and this whole body part was just fully blocked. And I couldn't move. I could only breathe, and then all my tears came through my. I could feel my feet. All the blood went to my heart. I could feel the whole sensing. My heart was going 180 beats per minute, and it was very dark. It was black. I was, I would say, a bit outside of my body. Even I could see myself, and it felt as if I was a prisoner in my own body. And so it was intense pain in my shoulders and my neck. And after discussing with the guru and so on, I managed to calm down. It was a very long night, but every time I would start just breathing, because the whole meditation is breathing normally through the nose. So every time I would just focus, I would get this energy coming back through to my shoulders and my neck. So from day 7 till then day 10, I was in constant pain, just sitting there for 3 days with my shoulders and neck being in huge pain. And so the guru, she said that I've released a huge sankara, so a huge experience, and don't know whether it's from this life or previous life, from whatsoever. It's just something very, very heavy that was there for me or inside of me. And so ever since, these shoulders, I feel like it just comes back and indicates something, and not a massage doesn't help. Pretty much nothing helps. And I am assuming that I'll just need to, spend some time going back into maybe meditating or energy or just checking in what's actually going on.
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for holding the space.
It's a really powerful process that you went through, and I'm aware of the Vipassana process. As you describe that to me, what I see and sense is similar, and the trauma aspect of it, it will always be something that, like, when we allow it to, it will unfurl and unravel, right? I am of the mind, and I've studied Peter Levine's work and Gabor Mate's work, and like the people who are sort of very much somatics based, so body based with the trauma. I really feel like movement is always the key. It's like, when an animal is attacked in the savannah and the desert, and they get away from the tiger or the lion or whatever it is, they shake and shake and shake and shake. And they let it go, right? And that is the body's way of releasing trauma. And so when something like that comes up, I would usually advocate for not stillness, but actually movement, moving with it. And so in that case, I wouldn't necessarily say it is an energy, but it is something that wants your attention. And if you were to be with it when it comes up next, get on your hands and knees on the floor, turn on a song of some kind, and just move with it. Like, move or dance. Like, how does it want you to move? Not like that it looks pretty or whatever, or has a beat. Don't move to the beat. Don't, just literally be like, okay, honey, what do you want? Like, and just go into it. Go in there, and then you might see, you might sense, you might go back in time or to another life and see where this is actually from, and you will unravel it. Like, this is something that is an invitation to, it's information, right? It's information that you get to access. And you can actually be with it without going, oh, I'm scared. You can be with it and let it move. And, maybe you need to induce some shaking. You should go to Legree class. I'm honestly, like, I'm not kidding. Literally, you sweat and shake. And I've said to my instructor, I'm like, this is a great trauma release. It's actually a brilliant trauma release because you shake nearly the whole time. And like, it's the involuntary shakes. It's the, when you kind of are you move so much under tension that it's like that, the really minor, like, tiny shakes. That releases trauma really beautifully, and you'll find that it unravels gradually.
Thank you so much. Like, I didn't even think of it as an invitation to connect. I was more of a, I know something's wrong. I know you're talking to me. I know you want to tell me something, but I'll just avoid you because I don't know how to fix you. And that would be literally me for the last few weeks.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a massage. Is it going to help? Obviously not. And I know that there's an action to be taken, but I don't know what action it is. I went to breath work, I do regularly yoga and so on. And it just comes and goes, comes and goes. So I really, really appreciate that advice and definitely switch a perspective as well, because I wouldn't have thought of it of, I invite you, let me know what's going on.
Yeah, and it is. It's one of those, it's a part of you that just wants attention, and it has wisdom for you. It really does. It has wisdom for you. So you can access that anytime.
Oh, I have so many questions for you, Carly. I hope you have enough time
for sure.
this evening.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know if I am disconnected in general from my body? How do I know if I don't listen to it? Because many people say, oh yeah, I just listen to my body. And others say, oh no, I just keep on pushing and whatever. Can you give me some snippets here, insights of it?
Well, definitely the person who just pushes through is not listening to their body, particularly if they're a woman. This is a gendered thing as well. Like if you're like feminine core, if you're a feminine being, you have a cycle generally, right? Unless you've moved through menopause. You have a cycle, and like you need to tend to that, right? And if you're not connected to that, that's a sign that you're disconnected from your body. But if you're pushing through, say on like your heaviest bleeding day, and you're going to HIIT classes or spin or whatever it is, you're like, because I just push through because I'm consistent or whatever. Yeah. You're not listening to your body. Yeah. Because, way back in caveman times, you couldn't just do that because you would literally be bleeding and like a injured animal out. You would be bringing all kinds of predators towards you. You need to have a rest. You need to stop. You need to bleed. And so like there is so many indicators that you may not be listening to your body. I mean, even like your menstrual cycle stopping, or you feeling numbness in certain areas and not really tending to them is possibly a sign that you're not listening to your body. There's a part of your body that's shut down and shut off because you don't want to go there with whatever it is, or you're not willing to dive more deeply into intimacy with yourself around something because you fear it. And we just spoke about that, right? With the shoulder thing, it can be similar with, whether it's an ache or a pain or something that's, you're just trying to ignore. You can forget about it and disconnect, and then kind of like, well, let's just put the carpet over that and move on, move through. There are so many ways that women come up with to disconnect from their body.
You're opening a very important topic, cycles.
Yes.
I do believe we don't talk enough about that. And there's a huge lack of education in general. If I look myself as somebody who I consider to be very curious, very well educated, or at least with good education background. Short break. If you enjoyed this conversation, please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. It means the world to me, and it keeps me motivated to keep on showing up and bringing these beautiful ladies on board. Now back to the episode. And I realized that only until recently, I didn't know anything in particular about how I'm supposed to push my body or not in these different phases of my life. Well, in school, there was no education on that. In university, okay, I studied PR and marketing. Fair enough, there was none. But so, how is it possible that I'm 29 years old, and only because I have a Whoop, I don't know if you're familiar, that's a health tracker.
Yes, I've worn that before, yeah.
Only because I have Whoop, now I finally know when I'm capable of pushing and when I'm not, and why some days in weeks I feel like I can conquer the world, and others I'm like, who am I? What am I doing here? Just don't talk to me. Yeah. So can we deep dive on that topic?
Of course. Yeah. Yes.
I would love to.
Like I always tell my clients, and like we do actually inevitably always end up talking about cycles, even in the energetic realm, But I always tell my clients, don't ever make a decision in the luteal phase. So just before your period, like just before your bleeding time comes, is the worst time to make a decision about anything. If you're thinking of burning down your business, if you're thinking of breaking up with a spouse, if you're thinking of quitting your job, if you're thinking of whatever, like never make any big decisions in those times, because that is usually the time where we're supposed to really slow down. And I mean, in terms of like hormonally, that's time when progesterone just wants to have its way. Progesterone really likes us to calm the F down, like calm down so that I can flow and then I can bring on the bleed, right? But if we do not calm down and we do not let ourselves do that, which, you know, our worlds generally are not set up like this. You live in a place like Bali, you can facilitate this a little bit more, but most places, most cities do not facilitate this for women, being able to slow right down, take a few things off your plate, be a little bit more quiet so that progesterone can do its thing, because you're actually supposed to feel freaking amazing. GABA is supposed to be released at this time. Like there is so much that we can produce within our bodies to actually really feel good. But because we're so pushed and pulled in all kinds of directions, that luteal phase becomes hell on earth. And then we make rash decisions, and like you say, you're like, I don't even know who I am. And that's when that happens. And I do things like drop glass bottles in supermarkets, you know. I'm just like, whoa, you know, that kind of, you know, that's happened to me in the past when I haven't really been listening to my body. It's like you can do all kinds of things. And then when the bleed drops and it releases, it's like then your estrogen starts to rise again, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, that's what that was, you know. And you can then rationalize it a little bit more. But yeah, it's hard to describe for particularly, say, our masculine folk what that sensation is when you don't get to drop. You completely change, and it's like that you get wound up, and it's like everything in your body is like wound right up, and you feel this tension. That's why they call it that premenstrual tension, right? You feel this tension, and all you want is to just drop and release. But then you push through, right? And then we have things like missed cycles or amenorrhea, people not cycling properly because the progesterone doesn't get to do its thing. So,
One thing I definitely didn't know about my period, for example, and I've had it wrong for many years, is I always thought when my period starts, I'm the weakest. I am not capable of anything. Don't touch me. I'm just going to lay in my bed and I'll be dying here. Just leave me for the first 2 days, because I used to have a very painful period as well. Now, what I've learned is that apparently when we enter the menstrual week, our hormones reset, and that's when we are actually the strongest, and we can handle a lot of strain, a lot of stress, and so on. So if we take the pain away, if we have pain, we are in top shape to be conquering the world again. And so, for example, back in the days, I didn't go to the gym. I didn't do any movement on my period because I was like, no, I'm weak now. Don't touch me. I'm not going to be doing it. Now, first, second day of period, I'm like weightlifting and kicking it because I am strong. I can feel, now that I've rewired my brain, that actually we just reset it. You're on zero. You're in the best setup you can be. And it has done wonders. And obviously now that I can track it as well. And so it just fully has changed my life. And now, as you said, in the luteal phase, I don't do any heavy stuff. Because before I'm like, why am I so slow? Why can I not keep up? Why can't I lift that? Why can't I squat that? And now I'm like, well, because I don't have to and I should not.
Yes,
so,
exactly. Yeah, no, that's really, really interesting. And what's interesting as well is that it changes throughout your age brackets as well. You know, like as you move more into your 30s and 40s, you may not find that as much with the bleed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different.
Interesting.
So I agree. And I think I see that particularly say with any kind of fasting that you do, like your bleeding time is one of the best times to fast because your hormones are lower. Yes. Yeah, I follow Mindy Peltz is an excellent, she's an excellent expert on this. She wrote the book Fast Like a Girl.
Okay.
And she does a really good job of showing you like where in your cycle is the best time, the optimal time to fast, because we shouldn't be doing it any
That's
time.
what I want to say.
Hormones.
So we're not supposed to be fasting in general. What type of fast are we talking? Are we talking long days, long hours?
Like 30. I just recently this week did a 36-hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, it's not short, but it's not super long either.
Yeah.
But Mindy talks about from like day one, the bleed, day to day 11 to 12. Like say you have a 28-day cycle. Just before you ovulate, stop. Like do not. So fast. You can fast from day 1 to 11. And then stop before the ovulation, because she's basically suggesting anytime when your hormones levels are high, so the hormones go up when you ovulate and then they come back down for like 3 to 4 days. And that window you can do a bit more. You could do a 24-hour fast. You could maybe do a 36 in there. But then once you hit luteal for that like week or so before you bleed, that's a big no-no zone, because your hormones are building once again. Your progesterone particularly loves carbs, and so that's why that craving kind of kicks in that time. So that is the invitation. There is to slow down, eat a little bit more, and not fast at that time. And then once you start bleeding, you can start doing that again.
Okay, very interesting for certain reasons. First of all, I've been reading, so fasting is another topic. I'm very nerdy when it goes to health and sleep, breathe, fast, whatsoever food. I'm very nerdy around it.
Yeah.
So let's jump into that part. Do you know Dr. Stacey Simpson?
Yeah. Sims?
Sims.
Oh, hang on.
Sims, yeah, no.
Molly
Stacey?
Sims?
No, Stacey Sims?
No. Maybe not.
Simpson? She's a very shredded in her
and
50s.
Older, yes.
Yeah, 50s, 60s, blonde hair, relatively thin.
She's been on Huberman recently.
I don't know. Okay. She's been on The Diary of the CEO and Mel Robbins.
Yes, okay. I think we're talking about the same person. Her and Mindy are in the same space.
Okay, so she's really shredded.
Yeah, she's really shredded, older. Yes.
Older, exactly. Yeah. So she talks about fasting and she says women should not be fasting. But that's why I really want to separate the two types of fasting, like this intermediate fasting that we do. Yeah. Intermittent.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Intermediate as well. So the intermittent fasting, and then the fasting that you're referring to, which is days plus.
Yes.
So what Stacey says, or Dr. Stacey, is that fasting is actually not good for us. So what she advises is that we have an early dinner, but we have the moment, or 60 to 90 minutes after we wake up, we have a bite. We have some kind of food to bring our cortisol levels lower and to give us some energy, and then hit the gym, eat afterwards again.
Yeah.
So I stopped fasting because of this lady, and I don't ever go to the gym again without having breakfast. However, now what you're referring to is the different type of fasting. I don't know if there's different terminology between it.
Yeah.
So you're referring about the 24 hours plus fasting, right? Okay.
Yes.
So I did a 3-day fast. Oh my God, I had headaches.
Yeah.
I was tired. I was not capable of anything. Maybe I should check in which
with Mindy Peltz. Yeah.
Which time
totally.
I did that. So I lost literally like 2-3 kg, and then I got a bit shredded again, and I was like, ooh, interesting. I don't know if it's a placebo. Ever since that water fast, I feel like everything started going backwards for me.
Really?
I can't hit my fitness goals. I'm getting so far away from them. And I feel like I have some kind of hormonal disbalance right now. I'm not sure, I haven't confirmed it. But I'm like, did I just fuck myself up with my 3-day fast? Or did I do myself a huge favor?
This is really, really interesting. And I think you're getting very much into the bio-individual physiology of you, and which is, again, I think really well worth just separating the two types of the fasting that Mindy Peltz talks about versus Dr. Stacey. from what I've heard, because I've pulled apart this as well, because I'm like, okay, so this is interesting.
Yeah.
Dr. Stacy is an advocate for people who train hard.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you're training hard and like athletes, yeah, you probably shouldn't be endlessly cycling through fasting. But if you are moderate and if you're, or even sedentary, like not really moving, then what Mindy Peltz advocates, I think, is really, really spot on. And again, just try it with your body. Like, listen to your body. Like, if it is saying no, 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 then do not do it. But if it thrives, then you can go further. But did you, with your 3-day fast, did you go dive straight into that, or did you do like a 24-hour?
No, so I
36
did a
hour?
directly 3-day fast, but then I had very light meals before I jumped into the the fasting. What I did find very interesting though was when my next period came, it was pain free, and I can't remember the last time in my life I hadn't taken a painkiller during my period.
Wow.
So.
Well, that
this is that the reason. Was for me.
Yeah, and these are the benefits of fasting, right? So there's benefits like, and you know, like you can break it down where, like, if you're fasting for 24 hours, it's really good at resetting your gut. If you go to 36 hours, it resets your insulin sensitivity. If you keep, like from around the 24-hour mark, you start producing human growth hormone, which people that pay tens of thousands of dollars for, right? The crazy Brian Johnsons and stuff. It's like you can produce this yourself endogenously within your body.
You need to suffer, otherwise I just pay for it.
Yeah. And then stem cells start getting produced. So you start to heal. So that may be, and like, I'm not a doctor, but like perhaps that is a healing that happened in your womb space happened because you were allowing that space for your body to kind of start to repair itself, to go into that repair mode, because it is going into repair mode because it is going, this animal is struggling, it can't access food, so let's make it more healthy. Let's produce ketones so its brain is clear. Let's create more healed cells, so like autophagy, and then your mitochondria improves. And like there's a lot of systems that just start to clean themselves and go, okay, we've really got to get this animal back up and running so we can get food. And that's what you're wanting to access with the fasting. But I would, like, in terms of what I know about it, I would always just go gradual. Like, I would start with the 24, see how you go. Because some people, and, I have heard, like, some people say for women, you shouldn't fast beyond 48 hours. But I think you need to find that out for yourself. Because remembering that ancestrally, way, way, way back, this is how we existed. We definitely did not have 3 meals a day, right?
For sure, no.
It was a feast and famine cycle. We would go and kill an animal and then bring it back and then have some food for a day or two, and then like go back out and maybe not get an animal for a few days or a day or whatever. And it would be the feast famine kind of thing. So our bodies are not like designed to just be constantly fed. And so this is just this, there's always, I think, a nuanced approach we need to take, which is like just see where I fit within all of this sort of realm of fasting or of like, lifting and the bleeding cycle, and see where do I sit and what works optimally for me and what doesn't.
That's, I think, one aspect that I'm not very great of still, of understanding what's actually doing me good and what isn't. I'm still having quite hard time when it goes to, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's you're 29. Like this is the time when you're just, figuring things out. So like, kudos to you for even being interested in it and actually trying to implement things, because this is the time when you're, really just bedding down like the foundations of what it is that you are going to build upon further and further and further, right? Like your awareness is already so vast. So you're only going to draw more information to you that is pertinent to your own, development. So
I appreciate it. I'm super, super curious when it goes to health and all these kind of tweaks that we can improve on. And now I'm taking all the beautiful supplements and doing all the routines and following all the empowering women.
Gosh, you I hope that you've connected into the realm of quantum health and circadian health, because that will blow your mind.
I have actually. So the first one, what was it?
Quantum health.
That not really, but
No,
circadian health.
Yeah. It's kind of on the same level, but it's like germ theory versus terrain theory, meaning it's like like supplements versus like get your feet on the earth, get your eyes to the sun and the sunrise,
Which I still do. I still do.
Great. No sunglasses. Do not wear sunglasses. Let your skin see the sun. Get in the ocean. Drink high quality vortexed water that your body can then create its own exclusion zone water. All of that, like if you get all of that sorted, you don't even really need to take supplements. This is the really interesting thing. It's like you can reduce your supplement taking to like a handful, or even smaller. Like I take very minimal now, and I used to take
what is it that you take? I'm curious now, because I don't take them because I necessarily have some kind of minuses or I'm lacking something, but because I want to be healthy and improve and longevity and all the important topics.
And of course you want to do that. I take food-based stuff mostly, as in I'll take shilajit. It's from the Himalayas. It almost looks like tar, but it's like loaded full of like every single mineral that you could possibly find. And you take like a little rice or pea-sized bit and you put it into like warm water in the morning. Take it on an empty stomach. I take that. I take a probiotics wise, I just drink kefir. So whether it's coconut kefir here, or I'll drink a dairy like milk kefir, sea moss gel.
I don't know what's that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's great for your fascia and for your skin. Skin glow.
My skin is not very happy with me in the last few weeks.
Go to Pepitos and get yourself some sea moss gel. It's in the jars there. It's like it's literally, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, sweet. Super cheap and at Pepitos, and I'll take a spoon of that, and it's so good for the gut. It has, again, another one of those, it's like a multivitamin but in food form. Again, like you want to take things that are like as close to what your body can recognize as food as possible, and I take that. What else do I take? I really take minimal. I take like a multi it's like for like feminine health. It's like shatavari, black cohosh, a whole heap of like herbs, but it's in like one little like capsule.
You're deep into natural herbs.
Yes, natural herbs, and like I trust and know that my body will guide me into that. Sort of what is really needed for you. I mean, kinesiology is that's what, muscle testing, right? I can trust that my body is, the muscle test, like I move towards it and like, okay, that feels like something that I need. I will take that. Yeah.
On that topic of muscle and body answering and so on, I would like to share a story with you, because you're obviously in this field. You might appreciate a funny story. So my partner's mother, she's an energy healer as well, and by the time I went to New Zealand to visit them, I was like, whatever, okay, just whatever, because I couldn't make it tangible, right? I'm an Eastern European. We work with the facts, if give me the facts, the data, and then I'll accept it. Otherwise it's war. And so she's a gorgeous mom. She's so much fun. And so when we went to New Zealand, Daniel was talking so highly, not only about his mom, because she wanted to do a session with me as well, but about this particular Neurolink lady. Are you familiar with Neurolink work?
You mean? No, I don't think so. Neurolink?
Neurolink, yeah. So she
Neurolink, like the.
No, not
Elon
like
Musk.
No, not like
okay.
the
All right,
Elon
but it's
Musk.
the same kind of words.
So, no, exactly. So I'm really sorry. I'm just giving you the basic explanation of what it is. But through touching of the spots that represent your organs, she can tell you what's not aligned, what's going on, where you have some kind of, I don't know, disturbance or something's not running regularly.
Like a medical intuitive, sounds like
Yeah,
she can
so-
tune into your organs.
Yeah, exactly. So you lay down on the table and she just starts tapping into you. So tapping in the different spots, and as I said, every organ represents a different spot in your body. So Daniel has been talking about this for so long, and I'm like, okay, we're doing it. So I go there. She puts me down in this bed. And as I said in the beginning, I consider myself somewhere or somewhat spiritual, yeah? But I'm not that deep into opening your chakras and everything else. Yeah, I'm basic, let's say. So I'm laying there. This lady's tapping all over my place for 1 hour. Literally, she's tapping here, tapping that. She'll pick up my arm. Okay, tap here, tap. And I'm like, where am I? What am I doing with my life? Anyway, we go towards the end of the session, and she starts telling me, so that's what I sense. This happened, la la la. Did you get the COVID shot? I can feel that your, what is it?
Spleen.
Yeah, spleen has not recovered. Your stem cells are not working as they should. Now I've rewired it. I can feel this here, there. And I'm like, okay, interesting. Because she was very accurate with certain things as well. I was like, interesting. So I get up and she's like, so to let you know, different people have different symptoms, but you might be a bit tired or have some particular body parts pain in the next days. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So we jump in the car, and then you're super excited because he swears by her. So does his mom, right? And she's been a practitioner for many years. And he's like, so how was it? Tell me everything about it. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. I feel like this was a scam. Like, this lady just tapped here and there for 1 hour. I have no idea. Did she do anything? Like, tippy tappy. So for me, it was like, oh my God, I have no idea what was that. Well, let me tell you, next morning I wake up, my whole body hurts in such a way I've never felt before. Like I was hit by a bus and then the driver decided to go backwards and hit me one more time.
Wow.
I couldn't normally walk. That was like, imagine you've done the hardest workout in your life with the heaviest weights. That was me.
Wow.
This pain moved through the whole body for 7 days. I would feel, that's so ridiculous now that I think about it. I couldn't walk. I couldn't climb stairs. I had to be walking like that, like a granny, walking up the stairs. And the most ridiculous part was that every day the pain was moving to different part of the body. So let's say today, very heavy thighs. Tomorrow it would be here. And then what I found very interesting was that I had pain in the most ridiculous places where you don't even think you have muscles or whatsoever. So I would have severe pain in my knuckles, here, just some super random muscle groups. And by the last day, I could feel as if the whole pain was going from in. So the first day it was very chest heavy, very back heavy here. And then towards the last day, it was going like these parts and so on and so after this session. I'm telling you, I believe in everything and anything because I couldn't believe what happened. I don't know what she did. Well, according to her, she realigned me, realigned my organs, that they went back to the basics and started properly working again. But I was like, I'll never ever in my life underestimate the power of these holistic approaches, because this was the craziest experience I've ever had. And if somebody told me that story, I'd be like, are you sure it was from her? But now that I firsthand experienced that, I was like, holy guacamole, what happened here? And I can barely explain to people who never have done such kind of alternative holistic approaches and energy transfers and so on. So I know that you can appreciate such a story.
This is amazing, but it's also, you use the word experience. And that is the critical piece. It is not until somebody has had an embodied experience of it that they will be able to believe it and arrive in a place where there's no more questioning. There's no more, oh, well, skeptical kind of blah, blah, blah. The belief arrived into your body. And that was it.
There.
Yeah,
right? It was there.
Because you experienced it.
Yeah.
You can hear all about fantastical things, but when you experience it for yourself, it then just removes all doubt. Like you are like, okay, I've been present to this, and it's gone. Like the doubt is gone, and the questioning and the skepticism, it dies down.
How do you manage to achieve that with your clients, though? Because you are in the holistic field, and so do you work online? Do you work in person?
I work online. I mean, especially here, it's like on a digital nomad visa. It's online. Rarely will I have the in-person kind of session, but generally when people come to me, people find me and usually they've jumped through hoops to get there. As in, like we talk about, following intuition and energy and stuff, I tend to only attract people who are ready for my work. So I actually don't spend a lot of time trying to cut through people's skepticism. I'm like, well, you want to work for, like, I also don't just work with anyone. You know what I mean? Like if someone comes to me, they can't just like become a client. I have to see that they're ready for it, right? They have to show me they're ready. So it's not me trying to sell like all of the things, the woo woo whatever. It's like, no, are they ready for my work? Okay, then we can proceed. Otherwise, no.
Yeah,
right?
I can appreciate that.
So I'm never really doing that. But if I'm, say, interacting with anyone that's not, like really aware, and they're interested, like that's crucial. I will never talk to anyone about it randomly, just like, oh, by the way. It's like, no. If it naturally comes and they're interested, then there's always a way to bridge somebody in. And you bridge people in by, sort of explaining surface level kind of understandings of what's going on. And then usually I'll connect in with something that they've themselves experienced, like, the walking into the room and feeling the energy or whatever it is, right? Or feeling the land. And then you start to, familiarize them with the sort of world that, you inhabit. And then it becomes a lot more like not me trying to convince somebody of something, because I'm not interested in that at all. It's, oh, okay, you've cleared enough, your frequency is clear enough that you want to learn more about something. Okay, I'm here, and let me, guide you in the way that you would like to, but not any more than what you're comfortable with, or you know what I mean? Like, because I can take you fully into the cosmos.
You need to meet them where they are, right?
Yeah, exactly. And allow for whatever level that person is really feeling excited or comfortable to explore. Allow that to emerge rather than like, whoa, me trying to come in and convince you.
Convince you that, that's what they need.
Exactly. I have no interest in that whatsoever. Yeah.
On the topic of energy, that's been our keyword of this podcast. Can we open up on one a bit more trendy and controversial topic right now? Feminine and masculine energy.
Ooh. I love that. Yes.
So we hear about it everywhere now. Are you in your feminine energy? Now you're too masculine. Are you building business in masculine or in feminine? Let's deep dive in that. In which direction would you like to take it?
Well, I think I love this because it's such a, like, yes, you say it's as you say, it's so spoken about in this day and age, particularly in this island that we're on. But I think like the nuance of it, like the complexity of it, is not appreciated. So really, when it comes down to it, feminine and masculine energy, it doesn't, like, we ascribe it to a gender, but it doesn't belong to a gender, right? That's first of all. And it could be called yin and yang. It could be called black and white. It could be called anything, but it actually is describing the movement of energy, right? So like the feminine energy, feminine is everything, and it's movement. You know, the feminine accesses God through movement, masculine accesses God through stillness, presence, witness. That's the masculine, you know, right now you're in your masculine holding space for me, right? And then I'll drop into my masculine, hold space for when you share, right? We all have a blend of these within us, and we need to have both. It's like a pendulum swing, feminine, masculine, and we're going between the two. And the issue is when you have someone, let's just use women for an example, women who actually identify as having a feminine core, remembering it is not necessarily a gendered thing. Like there are some women who actually have a really deep masculine core, and, you know, non-binary folk. We have to really be in that space of holding like the nuance of some people just who are appearing like a woman do not have a feminine core. But let's just say woman with a feminine core, if they are just swinging that pendulum one way and they only know how to be in their masculine, go, do, and then, or like hold space, and they're not allowing themselves to connect in with their feminine energy, then they are missing out on something really luscious, devotional, sacred, that actually fuels them, that actually allows for them to experience themselves as pleasure in the world, right? Like there is such beauty in our feminine energy, and if we cut ourselves off from that, we like end up miserable bitches. Like literally that is what happens. So it's about learning how to be like that in a world that teaches us mostly how to be masculine, right? So that's like, can you inhabit your feminine energy more? There's an invitation there for a lot of women, but you've got to also inhabit your masculine energy, and both, like vice versa, for men as well. Men need to know how to inhabit their feminine energy so that they can feel themselves, like feel the nurturing sense and feel like, you know, they're not operating through mother wound or whatever it is, and like tend to themselves in a way that's not constantly seeking, you know, satisfaction from a feminine partner so much, but like, oh, can I hold myself deeply? And men can access this easily through nature. Like mama nature gives it like over and over. And so, you know, if men allow themselves to attune with nature, then the feminine energy comes in really easily. And again, like their pendulum can swing back and forth beautifully, and they know how to have range across the spectrum of these energies, rather than it being this binary of, oh, you're masculine or you're feminine. And, you know, and I think where we can lose ourselves in the teachings is when we want to, like, because there is a truth in inhabiting a polarity, right? A polarity being like the magnet, you know, you've got to have like one pole and then another pole in order to magnetize. And the masculine and the feminine are a polarity. So you actually need to have that. It's, you know, it's the even our sex organs are like polarized like that. There is a beautiful like turn on that happens when somebody who has a feminine core is inhabiting their feminine, somebody who has a masculine core is inhabiting their masculine. There's a beautiful polarity that can be experienced, and you can swap, and you can be, I mean, like, you know, you can be dominant as a feminine being upon your masculine mate, and they will be thrilled by that as well, right? It's just trying on different flavors, but you've kind of got to dive into the and like peel away the layers of the marketing that happens, like the marketing of it and the appearance of it. And, you know, we see it a lot in Bali where it's like everyone wants to look a certain way of like, this is what the divine feminine looks like. This is what the sacred masculine looks like. And it's like, well, yes and no. Like, no, it's not necessarily that. It's what are you inhabiting energetically within your system.
I love that really much, because you broke it down into such a simple way of understanding that it's not per se about genders, not the feminine or the masculine. It just, let's say, two neutral
Yes.
energies that need to coexist together.
Exactly.
So do I understand you correctly? We are both born with it.
Yes.
We have it in ourselves.
100%.
And is it, as you said, it balances or it comes off in certain situations, the feminine or the masculine more? Would you connect also a very controversial topic right now. Feminism, with women being more in their masculine, or would you say that's another marketing
Again, do you know what?
topic?
I really think this is a really vastly misunderstood, and you know, my background is in political science and the sort of theories around this. So I'm kind of aware of particularly like political spectrums and what their stories are that they kind of want to pitch, right? I think that feminism has gotten a really like weirdly bad rap from like the far right, like more Christian kind of, you know, like space where it's kind of like, oh, feminism wants women to be men or whatever. It's like, oh, come off it. It's not that. If you
ask
actually
any woman,
study,
on the street, none of them would say, oh, I want to be strong as a man, or I want to be a man.
No, that's not what it is. And if you've actually read, you know, first wave feminism books, and like I've literally studied this stuff, feminism is, can we allow for a woman to be who she wants to be? End of story. Can we allow a woman to be who she wants to be in this world? And can we help facilitate that? What are the barriers to that? Right? So there are things like, you know, paid maternity leave and that sort of, like, we want to have that so that a woman can go back into the workforce if she desires, right? If she wants to. She can be a housewife and raise children if she wants to. And that is so fine, right? But that if she wants to go out and do whatever she friggin' wants to do, that she can also be supported in that. And that there are ways to help facilitate that, right? Because I think we forget, and certainly I'm not aware about the Eastern European equivalent, but like in Australia, you couldn't open a bank account as a woman until the 1970s, I think it was, right? You know, like this is in our living memory lifetime where, you know, can we all agree that women should have bank accounts? Yeah. Can we all agree that women should be able to buy property? Absolutely. Right? So like that's feminism. That is like, do I recognize that women should be able to do what they want? What has been conflated with the feminism propaganda stuff is like, it's like, oh, well, feminism is a rejection of the role of the mother, a rejection of the role of wife, a rejection of the role. It is not that. It is looking at the nuance of, okay, when a woman is in a relationship and say she's a wife and she is not earning money, right? Does she have recourse when her husband wants to, or they want a divorce? Does she have recourse to actually claim, like, get money, right? Like women are destitute if they leave and you know, haven't been the breadwinner, haven't been earning, right? Like that is what it is. It's like, can we make sure that women are able to do what they want to do, can be safe in the world, have somewhere to live, have money, if they have dedicated their lives to mothering, say, right? Because it still is not valued in a monetary sense by our society. We should 100% be seeing this. Like, I'm pretty sure the numbers have been done. Women who are mothers should be earning in excess of $200K a year for the amount that they are doing. And I think that's too little, right? I really think that there should be, you know, far more women who are recompensed properly by their spouses for their roles, right?
Very important roles, by the way.
Extremely important roles. And so I really I reject this idea of this misunderstanding of what feminism is, really.
No, you're speaking from my heart. Like you said it exactly on point. And that's the whole idea also behind not just his plus one. It's not about feminism. If you ask me, I don't even know if I'm a feminist. I'm a person who just wants women to be able to do whatever they want.
Yes, well then, my love, you are a feminist. Yeah. But it's like, it's been politicized, the term. And like, exactly. I'm so, like, I'm upset that it is, because it's like, it should not be a dirty word. It should just be something that's...
which is very sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's like, can we just all accept that we want women to be able to do what they want to do? Yes, you're a feminist. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, perfect. I am very happy to live with that. But because, for example, I was back in Germany and I went to this festival called Beach Fest. So it was all about these beautiful women coming together and talking about all the women stuff and so on and so on. But they were a bit leaning towards the radical part of where, oh, men are this and men are that. And I don't think that the problem is men. I think the problem is society. We are both involved in that problem, for how they're feeling in their men's crisis and for how we are feeling in our feminism crisis.
Yes.
So it's you can't say no, it's you, and I can't say no, it's me. So when they were there, I was like, oh my God, these ladies, this is too much for me. This is overpowering. Like, I am doing whatever I'm doing. I'm independent, having my lifestyle, living my life. But they are making me feeling like, do I actually agree with their agenda? So that was a bit for me as well, too right-fetched, if I can say so. Yeah, but that's exactly why we are here. Because I want women to be loud, to be heard, to be outspoken, to not shrink, because that's how I feel we're conditioned culturally and through the systems and companies and so on, to just be the kind and nice and nodding girl.
Yes.
And
just
so
be quiet and look pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Or just, again, on the topic of what's feminine. Yeah, we had a good conversation with my guest the other day. Yeah, just be still or quiet and look beautiful and smile.
Well, you know, it's funny because that's just a flavor of femininity. That is literally the maiden. The maiden is a flavor of femininity, but it is one of a vast number of flavors of femininity, right? You also have like the dark goddess Kali, Lilith, Hecate, like these goddesses that are just like, whoa, they will like cut out all of the, like the fire, and they will just cut out all of the, the death and destruction of things that no longer belong, right? Get out, right? That's the spectrum that, you get to inhabit with the feminine energy. And just going back to the bitch fest that you were at in Germany, and you speak about like, women who are like more on the man-hating side of things, which, for some women, situationally, that could be very like real. Like they could have been in a really horrendous situation. Like, spousal abuse in a domestic sense is still predominantly committed by men, right? It is men upon women, again, like that's heteronormative, but it is men that kind of, that do it to their partner. But that's not to say that it doesn't happen the other way. But situationally, if a woman is in that space, she's usually just, it's a moment in time. And the man-hating thing, like, I can see where you're going with this, is like, it as a movement is like, there's no place for the hating of any gender. And if we're perpetrating and perpetuating hate of any kind, like going back to what we spoke about in the beginning, it's like what you're giving out is what you're going to get. How you see the world is literally what you're going to receive back. So if you are being in this space, like if you feel like you want to hate men in general for something that someone has done to you, that one man has done, you should probably be in therapy. You should probably be seeing somebody about that and actually hold space for your trauma, hold space for that experience that you had, validate it, let yourself move through it, and then arrive back into the world in a space where, we can be constructive about this issue that is, like, yes, there's a masculinity crisis, because of all kinds of things. We have the rise of, I don't even want to say his name, like people that are very controversial in their space that are becoming like these so-called alpha males that are like,
Are you talking about the bald guy?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Let us not name him. But they're becoming this, these sort of gods to young boys and young men, because it's like, oh, he's certain about who he is and he speaks like he knows exactly what he's talking about, right? He's very well trained. He's a very good marketer. And so then he's a compelling leader, right? And so this is like helping boys and men to feel like they can be boys and men. It's like, but that was always the case. I really hope, like, just as women really should feel like they can be themselves wholly and fully, so should men be able to inhabit themselves wholly and fully. And are we facilitating a world where that can happen? And unfortunately, patriarchy, which is still the dominant but dying paradigm of our particularly Western culture, it actually does this to men as well, because it puts them up as like, oh, well, you need to be the strong one, you can't show your emotion, you're the leader and you're the blah blah blah. It's like, no, hang on a second, let the man be his full spectrum self, let the feminine in him be, you know, just as tended to as the masculine, and let him inhabit whatever pole or whatever spectrum, part of the spectrum he wants to, in whatever moment feels right to him. Right?
And let him be human.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
back to the basics.
Yes,
Yeah? Why
yes.
cutting? So we are too emotional. We are allowed to do whatever and express and shout and whatsoever and be perceived in a negative way through that.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be cut and stopped. No, you should be strong. You should not have emotions and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So I do think that both genders are in crisis big time. And I am very worried about the generations to come, to be fully honest with you, because with the examples we have in society, but
Yes.
also on the women's spectrum of where nudity and selling yourself for money and exposing, you just giving your body for
My
free.
God, like OnlyFans stuff?
Yeah, or for free, for paid. Some for free, some for paid. You're getting. So I'm very scared of what the future is holding when it goes to values of how a woman should be and a man should be and how they function together.
Oh, yeah. I am concerned about that as well. And because I know we create our reality and we all co-create our realities, I'm really focused on a different timeline, and creating a different timeline. And so, interestingly, I don't see as many examples of like really screwed up people in this respect. It's just like I said the other day, like when I was at the pool and like looking at all
probably in
these
a
things,
bubble.
I was like, yeah, maybe, but I'm sort of also, I feel like creating another reality of like, okay, there are possibilities when you can land enough of a like an understanding of that we actually co-create reality. Like this is really advanced esoteric stuff. You can start to shift where humanity is going, right? Like the understanding that we have a fate and a destiny that is like irreversible and we're on one track and we're just in this linear kind of time. It's not a fact. Like there are so many other potential timelines that we shift into with every different decision we make. We shift into a different timeline. It's multidimensional.
Yeah.
And so if you can see a different future and you can really live it now, you can help to co-create it. And if there are enough people, it doesn't take that many, but if there are enough people, it can shift in a direction.
That.
Yeah.
I'm definitely taking that. Yeah.
Let's knit realities together.
Yes.
Yeah, so that it's a different one.
Better one.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh man, Carly, I've been enjoying this conversation way too much, but I'm looking at the clock and we need to be wrapping this up.
Oh.
However, before we do that, I have 5 combo questions for all my guests that sit in this chair that I would love to ask you as well.
Sure.
They kind of go very deeply, very quickly. So I'm only giving you 1 minute per question. So you kind of answer on the top of your head whatever jumps in firstly for you. And yeah, take it from there.
Great.
Cool. I probably at this stage should know them, but I still open them. I still open them to make sure that I don't say something wrong. So Carly, what's the boldest move you've made that no one really knows about?
Boldest move I've made that no one really knows about. Most recently, I make bold moves all the time and have since I was a kid. Like I moved to Africa, like my first job was at the UN in Kenya, which people do know because I write about it in my bio or like talk about it. But most recently was leaving my relationship. A relationship that I thought was going to be family, kids, etc. And, you know, being in my 40s as well, I was like, whew, am I saying no to all of the things that I desire in that? And that was, you know, it was recent. It was last year, like 6 months ago. But it was
6 months ago. That's relatively fresh. How are you
yeah.
doing?
I'm doing really great, actually. Like that was the bold move that was right. That was me actually making a decision to leave something when I would normally just hang on for dear life. and normally I'm the one that just sticks with it. I'm sticking with it, and I've always, with all my relationships, been like, oh no, this can work. And I made the call, and it was the first time that I felt like I could like actually do that, and really claiming that for myself. And then like life took me on a completely different trajectory, and this is that co-creative kind of reality creation thing, and I find myself in Bali, and it's like life has been truly ecstatic and amazing.
I love that for you. Thank you very much for sharing. I can imagine it's a pretty bold move to make.
Yeah.
Especially for how long?
Well, it was a few years that we were together, but it was one of those things that I think I never really thought that I would be the one to do the like calling it thing, and I did.
But as for all the women listening out there and are stuck in their relationships,
that you kind of know, and there are lots of signs, but you're like just trying to hang on and make it work, and it's like it's heartbreaking, but it needs to happen.
So girls, you got it. If
you need to do it.
It's in your 40s.
Yes.
Your gut and energy.
You've got
intuition.
You've got to follow your intuition. Yeah, follow that.
Thank you for sharing that. What's one thing you're proud of that really rarely gets acknowledged?
I think I am so proud of the legacy I'm leaving in the world that is not necessarily seen. Like there's a lot of like life-changing things that happen for my clients that they know about that I don't necessarily talk about publicly, or that I don't necessarily, I'm pretty bad at getting testimonials and getting, the marketing piece of things. But like I wouldn't have been in this business for 10 years if I wasn't really fucking excellent at my job. And like real life shifts that completely change people and their lives and trajectories and like their earning capacities, and going out into the world and just absolutely killing it in a very good way, or deepening their relationship with their partners and their children and whatever. And it's like, I kind of, that happens a lot, and I probably, like you say, rarely acknowledge it. And I don't think a lot of people necessarily know about it, because I don't like spout out about it all the time. But I'm very proud of
spotlight.
That. I am very proud of that.
As you should be. Yeah. What matters the most to you right now in your life?
What matters the most to me?
Right now.
As of today, living in coherent alignment. And that means like really being so aligned with who I am, what I'm here to do, and how I live my life, and whether or not I'm in front of a camera or not, like how am I actually being in my life, and is there anything out of whack? Is there anything that's not quite matching up to that? And not by a like high performance standard of grind and like get it. It's like no. Am I betraying myself in any way? Have I overstepped a boundary within my own sphere? Am I, like really maintaining that? Because honestly, I always see amazing things happen for other people. I'm more resourced to give to other people when that coherent alignment is in place, because it's a magic engine. Yeah. It's a magic engine that just keeps on giving. It keeps my momentum going, and it keeps moving me into higher timelines of existence. And so that's really a focus. So because really ultimately I want to serve well. Yeah. I want to have an impact. I want to create a really significant legacy. And that requires tending to that piece first.
Well, when you can take care of yourself first, then you can give to the others, and especially in what you do. Yeah. You need to be aligned, and thank you so much. Appreciate that. Such a big, beautiful one. Last of the combo session. Mm-hmm. So the podcast name is Not Just His Plus One. Mm-hmm. What does this name evoke in you?
Well, I think possibly what we've been speaking about during this podcast is, you know, not externalizing your value based on what it is that you are, how you're being perceived in the world, right? Is it his plus one, or is it her plus one, or is it his friend, or his wife, or his mother, her mother, like all the roles, right? Like that's not necessarily who you are. You need to know what it is you are internally. You need to value and internalize your value and worth, like your innate worth. And I think that is what that evokes in me. It's like, don't externalize it. Don't see yourself as this person's ex. It's, you are primarily this multidimensional soul who is here to do amazing things, and with someone by your side, great. But also, if not, great. You know, like there's, as in, like there's yes and, like yes and you're not less if you don't have the and plus one, right? Like you are so vastly amazing even without that, and then even more amazing with that, and then you can keep building with each other, and it's like there's nothing, and there's so much more greatness that you can also experience in a partnership and sacred union, and like that's lovely and delightful. And it's a different experience, right? It's not about that role of being his whatever. It's like, who are you?
Oh, I love that. You frame it so, so beautifully. And just how you're speaking from my soul. And it's just so on point. And that was the whole idea of it. Be a whole human, as a woman, and then you can be his, her, their,
whomever,
whatever.
there. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
But be you first. I had a beautiful conversation with you. I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
I hope, we see each other again.
Absolutely. Well, we live quite close.
We do, yes.
Yeah.
Before we officially wrap up this episode, however, I have my final last question for you.
Yeah.
This podcast is for women who know they're meant for more. What would be your advice for these women who know they're meant for more, but are feeling stuck?
I would suggest, if they're feeling stuck, I think that instead of thinking too far ahead, like, oh, I need to get to this place and I don't know, what is the very next aligned step you can take, right? What is that, like, where maybe it's increasing your intuition, increasing your energy. Maybe it's going out into nature and allowing for yourself to be led into that next step. But what is the next aligned step, tiny baby step that you can take into something new, into that next little thing? And this could be, I need to run a bath for myself, pour some essential oils and some whatever bath salts in and relax, right? I need my nervous system to calm the F down, right? Like I need it to just, and that is your next aligned step. And that small baby step gets you out of stuckness. It gets you into momentum, and then momentum builds on itself, right? It's like, it's when you get too much in your head and you're like, oh, but like, and the perfectionist kind of comes in and it's like, oh, no, you don't make a misstep. But when you take a small baby step in a direction that feels good for you, that is alignment, that is intuition. And that will help to kickstart the momentum in the direction of where your soul wants to go.
Nothing to add, nothing to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, beauty.
Carly, it was an